University of Notre Dame proudly presents its marching band, the Band of the Fighting Irish.
Yes, as you heard in that song, the Irish
12-0
are undefeated.
playoff bound.
What's up, everybody? I am your host, as always, Mitchell Mannas. I am joined by Jack.
Hello, everyone.
He's here. Notre Dame, 12-0. No one said that they could do it.
I did.
Except this guy right here.
I didn't say that in the beginning of the year, but I'm very happy they are.
What were your expectations going into this year?
I didn't really have.
What were they last year?
10-3.
I don't know. I would have expected
10-3.
Yeah.
We beat LSU in the Citrus Bowl.
Nice.
And yeah.
Wow,
I was expecting the same. I don't know.
We just finished. The Notre Dame ended about an hour and a half ago. They defeated the USC Trojans 24-17, right? Yeah. And pretty much secured their spot in the college football playoff.
Yeah, as the announcer said, and I agree. I biasly agree that there's really no way that they get left out being undefeated.
Yeah, we will. We're gonna get into it in a little bit here. Jack and I really don't have an itinerary this episode. We're kind of just throwing this together. We have no preparation at all.
It's gonna be bad.
It might not be very good at all. It probably won't be very good. We're gonna probably get.
We'll be great. We'll be great.
We're gonna get more things wrong than we normally do.
Yeah.
And it'll be choppy.
Yeah.
And but we're professionals.
Not really.
I'm a professional now. So I'm getting better at it, and we're gonna throw it
professional
together.
Guest. I'm really mad because not the last time, I guess we did the NBA one, but the time before that, it was week 1, I think, when we did it over Skype, and it got deleted or something, or
There was a lost episode that Jack just.
But I thought that episode was so good. My notes were so good. I was making great points.
Well,
but
it's
gone forever.
And even if it was, we wouldn't upload it anyway because it has no relevancy right now.
Yeah.
It's about week 1 of the season.
It was start him, sit him, and I said start Gronk. Yeah, that was great advice.
Good one, Jack.
And start Cam Newton, I think, or something. I don't know. But it was good. I had some good stuff.
It's all right. We've got a lot of stuff ahead of us, especially on this improv episode.
Yes.
The improv episode. I guess we'll start off with college football.
Sure.
Because we kind of, I can't even speak now. Introduce the episode with that.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Well, we're recording this. This is the end of the regular season. We still have the conference championships to go next weekend.
Right.
But if you're on the committee right now, who is your top 4?
Well, 1 is pretty easy. I mean, you got to go Rutgers, and then 2, I'd sneak
probably Texas State.
Yeah. They had an impressive end of their season.
Let's have 2 Big Tens in Illinois as well.
Yeah. Probably throw Duke in there. We saw them play live.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
They're actually not that bad, though. The other teams we mentioned are horrible.
Did you see the crowd today?
What game?
It was Duke Wake Forest. Literally no one in the crowd. I'll show you a picture right now, but yeah. There was the seats were just completely empty.
That's not good. I mean, that's probably what I expect.
It's just all blue. Yeah, because a meaningless game between Wake and Duke, I guess no one cares.
And this is when?
Today.
Just before the kickoff?
Yeah, just before kickoff.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
That's pretty bad.
There's not even. It doesn't look like there's 500 people in those stands.
Yeah.
That's really bad. All right, but anyway.
Yeah, back to the question. Well, it just depends what happens. I think the the Ohio State win today kind of simplifies things.
I think it complicates things.
Oh.
Why would it simplify things?
Well, it simplifies things that
if
Michigan's out now.
If Michigan, that makes it more complicated. If Michigan won, then everything would have just stayed the same that it has been. It's been the same 4 since they started the rankings in week 8 or 9.
That's true, but I'm just thinking. So right now there's 5 teams in contention to make it to the playoff.
I think there's 6. Really.
You think Oklahoma has a chance?
I thought you were not counting Georgia, just assuming that.
I was so you think
What do you mean?
you think Bama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Georgia, Oklahoma, those 6 have a shot to get in?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
they're the every team with 1 loss or less.
Yeah, I just think Oklahoma has an outside shot just because of
the Big 12.
Yeah, because of the Big 12.
So
the Big 12 hasn't really impressed me.
So I just assume that you think it'll be.
It depends. It depends what happens. Depends if Ohio State wins
against Northwestern.
I think it's just complicated because if Ohio State wins, they're Big Ten champions with 1 loss.
They'll get in. Well, not necessarily.
What if Georgia beats Bama?
Well,
who are they going to leave out in that case?
If Georgia beats Bama, that'll just make things. That'll be the most complicated scenario.
Right? Are they gonna? Because assuming Clemson might not win, but
Clemson plays Pitt in the ACC championship.
If Clemson wins, they have an outside shot of winning the game. But if they beat Pitt, they're in. They have to be in. They're 13-0, conference champions.
What if Clemson loses to Pitt?
Then I think they're out. It's too competitive with these top 6. I think they're going to be bounced. I don't know.
Here's what I think.
Okay.
I think
I didn't even say anything, but go.
I know. Sorry. I think Alabama is, as of right, like, no matter what happens, they're in no matter what.
Yeah.
If they lose to Georgia, they're going to be in. And if Georgia wins, they're going to be in too. They're not going to leave Georgia out. SEC champs beat Alabama 12-1. They're not going to leave them out. That's the same thing that happened last year, right? Did Georgia win the SEC championship last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing as last year. And Alabama was in last year, and they're more dominant this year than they were last year. So they're not going to leave them out. Alabama is in no matter what happens.
Yeah, I agree.
And Notre Dame is in no matter what.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame has been in the top 4 every single time, right? This year.
Yeah, there's no.
And there's no way. Notre Dame and Bama are already in. If Clemson wins, they're in. If they're out, if they lose to Pitt, then I don't know. If it comes,
I think they're done.
If it comes down,
because really they didn't who's their best win?
Clemson, Boston College,
right? Syracuse.
Did they play Syracuse?
They barely beat Syracuse.
They did.
These teams aren't great. I think that they're probably not gonna be in.
Okay. Well,
if they lose.
assuming they win,
which
I think Jack has an outside chance of going to that game.
Probably not. It's a shame.
It's lucky. I think it's likely to happen.
Why do you think it's likely?
You got to think positive. But yeah, they're gonna win. Sorry, but if it comes down to Oklahoma and Ohio State, if you have to pick between those 2 teams, who would you have in?
Ohio State.
Why?
Just because they have impressive wins. They blew out Michigan today. That's very impressive.
62-30 something.
39, I think.
That was the most points Michigan ever let up, I think.
I think it's second most in school history, most Harbaugh's ever let up.
By the way, Urban Meyer is 7-0 versus Michigan, and Jim Harbaugh is 0-4 versus Ohio State. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It doesn't make me respect Urban Meyer anymore.
Oh, no, I hate Urban Meyer, but I'm just saying.
How many people in the country likes Urban Meyer?
Everyone in Columbus, Ohio, and that's it.
I don't even know if they do. What were we even talking about? Oh,
why you think Ohio State is better than Oklahoma?
I just think they've had more impressive wins. The Big 12 doesn't really impress me. That's probably the second worst conference. The Big 10 is better. Out
of the Big 5 conferences.
No, out of all the conferences in the whole country, Big 12 is the second worst. But out of Power 5, it's probably it's the second worst in my opinion. I don't know. ACC is not great either. Whatever. Other than that, the Big 10
is the second best conference.
Is the second best conference. And to win that is assuming Ohio State wins. To win that, have wins over Michigan,
Penn State.
Yeah. Well, they didn't blow up. They didn't blow up.
Rutgers.
That's pretty impressive. Well, do they play Michigan State?
Probably. They're in the Big Ten East, so yeah, probably.
So they beat them. Yeah.
Their defense has not looked great as
Ohio
of late.
State? Except Ohio State looked pretty bad. Did you watch the game against Maryland last week? They did not deserve to win that game. They barely squeaked out of that one.
Yeah.
But I think this win and then a solid win against Northwestern in the Big Ten championship would solidify them. Well, I mean, I
don't know. I think a win. I think Oklahoma beating Texas in the Big 12 championship is more impressive than beating Northwestern in the Big 10 championship.
That also makes it interesting because Oklahoma's only loss was to Texas, and if they beat Texas, then they're split.
Yeah. I
don't know. That's
I
tough.
just love watching Kyler Murray play over. Like, I just think he's so exciting to watch play.
Yeah.
Like that, we didn't get to see all of the Oklahoma-West Virginia game. It was last night on Friday. We're recording this on Saturday, so we watched it on Friday.
Yeah.
And he had this amazing run in the first half, and he's so fast. And
yeah,
I don't know. He's really fun to watch, so I'd want to see him play. I think it's really close if it came down to those two teams, which it seems like the most likely scenario that the committee will have to decide between those two teams. And I don't really know who they're going to pick. But, I mean, they had Ohio State at 10. Like, I know this means nothing now because games happen and things change, but Oklahoma's was 6th, I think, in this past week's playoff rankings. And now Ohio State was 10, and obviously they're going to move up now because they beat the number 4 team, Michigan. So, yeah, I don't know. One last note that we'll close out our college football talk on is UCF. What do they got to do?
They have to schedule tougher out-of-conference play next year.
Yeah.
If their best wins were
Pitt,
Cincinnati. They barely beat Temple. They're whatever. They went. They're going to be, or they did win. They're 24-0.
Back-to-back undefeated years, yeah.
But like, the AAC is not like. It's child's play there. Like if your best win is against Pitt, like that does not say much about your team.
I guess it really doesn't mean that as much.
I'm not saying like even if they did, I'm not saying they're bad. Like they could be of the same caliber as these teams we're talking about to get in the playoff, but they just how college football works. Like they got to prove it against tough competition, and they haven't done that. So I mean, I can't justify putting them in the playoff or bumming them up. Like they have to schedule tougher teams. Like leave the AAC or schedule tougher teams to play out of conference.
Yeah, if they could just get like, I don't know, not even like a team like Bama or like Georgia, but if they can get like, I don't know, Michigan State or Auburn maybe.
Yeah.
So even like that's still a formidable opponent, but
that's also gonna be tough for them because like. Why would Auburn or Michigan State want their out-of-conference play to be against UCF? They're if they're in the AC and the SEC, like their in-conference play is already tough enough. They probably want some guaranteed wins out of conference.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe go for teams in like the Pac-12 or Big 12.
Yeah, maybe play Oregon or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's got to be tough, but it's just tough knowing that. Even if you win every single game, you just have no chance, and which only like teams in the big conferences have a chance, really.
Yeah.
So
This
and
is
Notre
why,
Dame. That's why Notre Dame
why,
is the exception.
This is why the playoff must be 8 teams.
Would you put UCF in if there was 8 teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you, but me and my friend we were going over how if it were to expand to 8 teams, how we would map out is that 5 of the 8 would be reserved for conference champions of the Power 5. And then the 6th goes to the best. Wait, he thought of this. The 6th goes to isn't there like there's a Power 5 and there's like a 5 conferences that are like considered like just below that. Whatever. If there isn't, just the 6th goes to like the best team out of like the non-Power 5 conferences, and then like 7 and 8 goes to like the 2 at large, just like of the Power 5, 2 teams in the Power 5.
I guess so. But if you look at it, like what the committee had in their college football playoff rankings, UCF was 9. They're not even in the top 8.
I know, but like this way, it would be designed that like it's more spread out.
But if you look, like, who would be your top 8 right now? If it was 8 this
My
year?
top 8, or if it were designed the way I just said it, who would I put in?
No, like not the made up system you guys made up. Like the one that just your top 8 right now.
Well, the 6 teams we named: Bama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia. Not in that order. And then, I mean, then it's kind of up for debate who's 7 and 8. Which, I mean,
LSU.
If LSU didn't lose tonight,
they literally like 15 minutes ago they concluded a 7 overtime game that was like 74-72.
Yeah,
that is 146 total points.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That is, yeah.
But if LSU did not lose tonight, I'd put them. But there's 3. I put Michigan, because their 2 losses are to teams that were, State and Notre Dame. And then I don't know. I guess LSU, UCF, maybe UCF. I put in there. I don't like who else was.
I would love to see a UCF and Alabama matchup 1v8. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would just make it so much more exciting. Like, and then like teams are playing for more.
It'll happen eventually. Don't worry.
And another thing about my made-up system I was talking about, at first when we thought of it, like I was opposed to the idea of having it, like you have to have a winner from each conference in, because then you're taking teams that like are just
like what if Pitt wins?
Right. Well, I mean, I like that idea because it's like it makes it exciting, like the underdog, like just win your conference. But I mean, I'm just talking about like you take the win, like the winner of the Pac-12 automatically be in, and then they'd get in. They could get in over potentially a team like like Michigan, like a team that in a Power 5 doesn't win their conference but are more deserving.
Like the Pac-12 championship is Utah versus Washington.
Is it really? Wow.
Yeah. So what if
I feel like they just beat up on each other all the time. Like they kind of ruin each other's chances. But
well, maybe not in year because Washington made it 2 years ago. Maybe this year they have. Really.
No, but I think that if we had my made up system, is that like each of the Power 5 conferences has a shot. So I think that would bring more talent to the Big 12 and Pac-12. You know what I mean? Like they get better, like in theory, they get better recruits knowing that they have like an equal shot, a more equal shot of getting in the playoff and competing for a national championship. And like maybe over a few years it would balance out the talent dispersed between like the Power 5 conferences. That's just an idea, but I don't know if that would actually happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Whatever.
It seems everybody in America. It feels like everyone in America wants there to be 8 teams in the playoff. So
yeah, why don't they? Like, there's reason.
It'll happen.
It should.
I mean, it was a big deal when it went to 4 instead of just having the top 2 teams. So, I mean, it'll happen.
I hate bowl games so much.
It has to happen. It will. Maybe not in the foreseeable future with the first few years, but it's down the road for sure. Yeah, I guess we've talked about what we have about college football.
Yeah. We did our job.
We'll talk about the NFL, I guess.
Sure.
Thanksgiving was 2 days ago. 6 teams squared off. We have the Chicago Bears went to Detroit and they handled their business and won 23-16. They improved to 8-3. The Lions dropped to 4-7, and the Bears continue leading the NFC North.
Did it without Trubisky.
Without Trubisky, Chase Daniel looked pretty good. I think he threw 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. 1 Tariq. 1.
Whoa. Ad playing on Jack's computer. Very loud.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, he did. He threw 2 touchdowns.
Sure.
Tariq Cohen caught 1.
We'll check out the stats.
We're gonna pull up the stats here. Don't worry, guys.
I benched Tariq Cohen. That's a shame.
That is a shame.
He only had 14 rushing, but then he had like A good 45 and a touchdown.
Other touchdown went to another receiving back.
Oh, Mizell.
Taquan Mizell. He in the early part of the game.
He caught. I got who the heck is this guy?
In the early part of the game, Tariq Cohen didn't really do much, and it looked like this random guy named Taquan Mizell was stealing his fantasy points.
Yeah.
But Tariq Cohen got going, and I think he finished with 7 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. Added a few carries for some yards there, but I mean, the Bears, they're so good. Their defense is amazing. Eddie Jackson, the guy who scored the defensive touchdown for the Bears in the game.
That's the same guy that scored
he has 5
on Sunday night, right?
He has 5 defensive touchdowns the past 2 years, which is like by far the most in the league, I think.
I'm sure it is. That's nuts.
Yeah, so if you picked
their whole defense,
if you picked up the Bears' defense in fantasy at whatever in the early part of this season, you could have a league winner on your hands.
Is Mack your defensive player of the year?
No.
Yeah, Aaron Donald.
Has to be Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald leads the league in sacks.
H2P.
He's an Pitt alum, and he leads the league in sacks as an interior defensive lineman. That's
so rare.
In the game against the Chiefs, he had 2 forced fumbles, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
he's an animal.
No disrespect to Khalil Mack, because the Bears' defense was already good, and they had a lot of young pieces. But when he came there, he really just made them the best defense in the league.
Roquan Smith's having a good year, I think, too.
Yes, they have a lot of guys. So if you look at the Bears, they're sitting pretty at 8-3 in the NFC North. I think the Vikings are 5-4-1, and the Packers are 4-5-1, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
I mean, by the time you're listening to this, Week 12 will have already concluded, probably. So their records may have changed a little bit. But the Bears have at least like a 2-game lead right now in the North. And, I mean, unless they completely choke it away in the second half, not the second half, like the last, 5 games of the year. I mean, it looks like they're going to be hosting a playoff game for the first time in, I don't know, probably since Jay Cutler was the quarterback. I think so. The last time I remember the Bears in the playoffs, like hosting a game, was like the game when they played the Packers in the NFC Championship game, and Jay Cutler got hurt. Not really. It was on the That was the last time I remember, and I think that was like 8 years ago. So
wow.
Good for Chicago.
I was just thinking back to like 2006 when they won when they lost the Peyton in the Super Bowl, but it probably isn't.
No, 2010 was they were definitely in it then. I don't know if there was a time more recent than that.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Bears look really balanced. They've got good running backs. Like Jordan Howard is still really good, and he's not even
he's a bust for fantasy, but in real life he's a threat out there, and he changes the game a little bit.
Well, having that tandem is just great for them.
Yeah, real shame. I thought he was gonna be good. I mean, just about for statistically, like for fantasy purpose, I thought he'd have a good year.
It doesn't make sense how good he was on a bad team, and now he's on a good team, and he's just not good at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have a new coach now.
Yeah, Matt Nagy.
Right, and I guess that doesn't fit his scheme, but man, I'm glad Tariq Cohen's getting more action. He's on my dynasty team.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of weapons. I mean,
Allen Robinson, statistically, also he's kind of just from a fantasy perspective.
He has his games.
Yeah, he's kind of like inconsistent. Like he'll go off a week and then he'll not do much. On Thursday, he had 2 receptions, 37 yards. I thought he had more than 2 receptions, but his 2 catches, I actually remember both, and both were impressive grabs at like crucial points. So he's making a difference out there, and I think he's a talented receiver.
They just like to spread the ball around.
They do, yeah. Guys. I mean, Gabriel 49, Cohen 45, Miller 41, Robinson 37, Burton 28. Like that's very dispersed.
Yeah, I mean they really like Anthony Miller. I think he's got 4 touchdowns on the year, if I'm not mistaken. So he's having a pretty decent rookie year, and like I said, they've got a lot of weapons, so they like to utilize them all and spread the ball around. If you go to the Detroit side,
the Lions.
This just seems to be the case of the Lions. Like they're in every game, I feel like, and they don't. I feel like there's something about them that they're kind of like allergic to winning.
Yeah,
in a way.
Stafford doesn't excite me.
They're not even a bad team. Like they're. I feel like they're better than a 4-7 team. Like I feel like they should be like 6-5.
Not really,
but like,
opinion.
And Stafford really did not play well at all. He turned the ball. I mean, I mean, to be fair, he goes against the best defense in the league, but turns the ball over twice and kind of had a lackluster game. Didn't really get the offense going in the early part of the game. And it wasn't for LeGarrette Blount, doing work around the goal line.
He's a beast.
Benched him in fantasy too.
That's nice.
So that's always good. But I mean, if it wasn't for him falling at the goal line to get 2 touchdowns, Lions don't really do much on offense, and shows how good Carry-On is. Really, you're kind of missing him. Blunt has good stats, but he finishes with like 19 carries for 88 yards and has a pretty decent average. But Carry-On kind of just like you're not scared of LeGarrette Blount catching passes out of the backfield. Like Carry-On has that ability to do that, and he kind of changes the whole offense. So
I think this is arguably like the most complete backfield.
The Lions,
kinda.
Well, you've got Riddick, who's a really good pass catching back.
Blount is your goal line guy, and
Carry-On, who's
your every down back. And not only is he your every down back, he can do it all. But yeah, I like this for a running
it's
back
not. But do you get why I'm saying like they're not a 4-7 team? Like you just call them arguably the most complete backfield in the NFL.
They probably aren't.
If Marvin Jones wasn't healthy for this game, but if he was healthy, Kenny Galladay's really, really having an amazing season.
If they kept Tate, it'd be different. I love Golden Tate.
Yeah. But no, Kenny Galladay has really been on a tear. And since Golden Tate left, he had a monster game 2 weeks ago. And on Thanksgiving, he had a pretty solid day with 5 catches for 90 yards. He's just huge, and what is he? I think he's like 6'4". Huge arms,
sure.
And
he could be 6'4".
They call him Minitron for a reason.
They do?
Yeah, they do. They call him Minitron. Isn't that a good nickname?
Yeah.
But I don't know. The Lions kind of look like they've done the same. They've never won a playoff game with Stafford. They've been to the playoffs twice, I believe.
I would hate to be a fan of the Lions because teams like this, like they're not bad enough to go rebuild and invest in the draft, but they're not good enough to like make it in the playoffs. I mean, they
What's
have
another
a
team like
chance
that?
to make it in the playoffs, but like they're not, they're not gonna do anything.
Titans.
Oh yeah.
Like the Titans, the Lions, the Bengals.
The Bengals definitely, yeah. They fit that stereotype.
Maybe the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins. You can bomb that team. Not literally. I just mean like, yeah, you know what I mean.
Kind of the Cowboys.
Nah, the Cowboys' problem is their coaching. Well, that's a good transition. We'll get into the Cowboys right now.
Yeah.
But I love the Cowboys. Like their team. They have I love their defense. I think that
I wouldn't say I love their defense, but
I do love their defense. I would say that
definitely has improved over the past like 2 seasons. Like if you think about it, like 2 years ago, you see your guy on your fantasy team and he has Dallas coming up on his schedule.
2 years ago, yeah, but
they're different
now.
I know. I'm just saying, like you're looking at that 2 years ago. I'm like, oh, nice. I got my guy going against Dallas. He's gonna have a field day. But now you look at it and like they've got a very good run defense. I believe they're like in the top 5
probably
run defenses.
I think they got the best linebacker core in the league.
In the league, I don't know about in the league, but
no, they don't. That's a lie.
I know. I mean,
they're like top something.
Like with Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith,
Sean Lee. Yeah, like that's a scary tandem.
And DeMarcus Lawrence, rushing the passer, very good front 7.
Yeah.
And I forget they have this guy. This corner is really playing well.
Oh, Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I forget his name. He's got a weird name. We'll look it up later. But he's really doing well. Forget his name. But yeah, like we said, like has definitely improved over the past 2 seasons, and it's showing. I mean, they played pretty well. I mean,
this offense.
Granted,
too.
They did go against Colt McCoy in this game, but they did pick him off 3 times, I believe. So. I mean, good for them. And they finally figured it out. They've won 3 games in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And the reason why is because they've given Zeke the ball. Like, in the beginning of the year, they were giving him, 17 touches.
No idea why.
And now they're giving him, 25, 30 touches. And that's what, it equates to wins. Like, it's not that hard to figure out, and they finally figured it out. And they've won, I think, 3 in a row. So,
right. Like, they have all the tools, I think, to be I'm gonna say elite team. Just like how they were 2 years ago when Dak and Zeke were rookies. Like, their defense we just talked about, I think, is a complete defense.
Definitely a lot better than when they were 13-3.
Right, better than that season. The receiving core, Amari Cooper, I've always liked. He's a great route runner and in the right system. And, I mean, he went off on Thursday, but he can strive as a wide receiver 1, as he's shown flashes of in his career. And then the other scrubs can...
Gallup really hasn't impressed me at all.
They can, whatever, but they can, besides what I just
Cole
said,
Beasley
Cooper.
catches a lot of passes, though.
Yeah, so, like, I think their receivers are good enough. Obviously, they have, like, a top 2 running back in Zeke. And I am in love with Dak Prescott.
I don't know if your love for Dak is really shown on the show yet, but
I love Dak Prescott.
Jack is a big Dak fan.
But I'll admit, like, he doesn't make great throws down the field, but he's a serviceable quarterback to win you games. I mean, he was on a 13-3 team, a quarterback in 2016. So I think that under right coaching that he can strive, which I think that's their problem, and I don't think this is news to anyone, is Jason Garrett. That, like, your team, I just talked about everything, all the tools they have on their team. Like, they just, at some point, you just got to blame the coach. Like, and I think that's why they've been winning the past few games, what you said. Just, I think that rumors have been circulating that he's kind of on the hot seat. Like, people are, like, really, like, scrutinizing him, but he's kind of, I mean, I noticed in, like, the Eagles game when they beat them on Sunday night, I think it was Sunday night, that, like, I feel like he was kind of making some more, like, gutsy decisions, and he was kind of, like, coaching for his job, and he's got to be more McVay-like and kind of do that more if the Cowboys want to get anywhere, which, I mean, I think they're going to win this division at this point in time because of how weak the NFC East is, and they have a shot, but I sure hope they do. Not the Eagles, but yeah, that's all I got to say with the Cowboys.
Yeah, but then that's why I included them in those group of teams that are good enough to, like, get to the playoffs, maybe, but, like, not. There's no way the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. Like, you know that.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Exactly. Like, I mean,
but I think if McVay was their coach, they can't do a complete coaching trade between Jason Garrett and McVay. But, like, a guy like McVay, they could compete for the Super Bowl. They have the tools, I think.
I guess so. I guess the reason why you can't include them in those, like, teams like the Lions and the Titans and maybe the Dolphins.
They have more talent than all these teams.
They have more talent, and they're just like they're just like more kind of like. I care more about the Cowboys, and, like, I don't care about the Titans.
There's
like,
more exciting.
They are, like, because there's more storylines.
Yeah,
them,
they're America's team. Like, they're more exciting than the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know any Titans fans, and I doubt there's any Titans
50%
fans
of our
listening.
listeners are probably from Tennessee, so
yeah,
this is probably the last show. I'll
Do you know that we almost, like, lived in Tennessee?
I'm
serious.
I think I did know that.
Our dad,
but not almost. I think it was just like he had an option to go to Tennessee.
I think our dad had, like, a job offer to, like, go to Tennessee before we were born, so there's a chance, like, we could be, from Tennessee.
I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say we
wouldn't be Titans. Maybe, like, we'd hate Titans fans like we hate Eagles fans. Like, they'd be so obnoxious to us, and, like,
I don't know. Maybe
we would have these, like,
with their cowboy hats.
I don't know.
Nashville seems cool. I'd want to go there.
I always, like, picture that for some reason, like, living in Tennessee and, like, hating Titans fans because we
don't think about that at all.
I've thought about it more than 5 times.
Okay.
But anyway, brief word on the Redskins. I mean, I don't want to overreact to one game, but it kind of looks like their season's done.
Yeah, they're kind of going downhill.
Unless they start Mark Sanchez next game and he pulls something out of the hat.
Funny. Who do they play this week?
They
played the Cowboys. Who do they play? You probably don't know.
No,
they got the Eagles. I think they got the Eagles.
You're right. Eagles on.
Well, they got to play the Eagles twice.
No, you're right. You're right. Monday Night Football versus the Eagles. That's who they play.
Okay.
That's a loss. They're not winning. They look
Are they
so
on the road?
bad.
No, I think they're at home.
The thing is, I don't remember, but Adrian Peterson has looked really, really good when they're playing with the lead. And they can feed him the ball.
They can run the ball. But we talked about their passing weapons. They have no one.
Yeah.
Vernon Davis probably. Who led them in receiving?
Vernon
Davis was second. Their tight ends were 75 yards, 73 yards.
Yeah. No, those guys on the outside do not scare you at all.
Yeah, that's a shame.
So all right, so we're looking at the guy, every guy who caught a pass to the Redskins. We're just gonna go down the list real quick.
I haven't heard half these guys.
You got Jordan Reed was the leading receiver with 75 yards. Then Vernon Davis was 73, but I pretty much all came on that one touchdown that he caught.
That's right, yeah, 2 receptions.
Then Josh Doxson. Then Trey Quinn.
I've never heard of Trey Quinn.
He was that white guy that did the scar in his touchdown dance.
Yeah, I know that now.
Then Capri Bibbs, who's a running back. Then Adrian Peterson, who's a running back. And then Maurice Harris was targeted 5 times, but failed to complete haul in a target.
Poor Maurice.
So you have 2 receivers caught passes in this game, and one of them was a guy named Trey Quinn.
Oh, you're right. I guess 2 wide receivers that caught passes.
So no one on the outside is scaring you, and especially when Colt McCoy is throwing you the ball, no one is scaring you at all.
Oh, Trey Quinn was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick of the 2018 draft.
Okay, good for that guy.
Good for him.
They the Redskins would not.
Their defense is good though.
It's good, but it would not shock me at all if the Redskins went 6-10 this year. They're 6-5 right now, and I think
they'll win something.
They were 6-2 or 3, I think. But
I'm looking up who they play. They'll beat someone.
All right. I don't want to talk about the Redskins too much, so we'll just predict the rest of their season schedule and move on to the late game.
The Redskins deserve for not paying Kirk Cousins, but
they
play the Eagles. Oh, they're on the road too. They're gonna lose.
They play the Eagles on the road.
Giants winnable game.
Giants at home. Jaguars on the road. Titans on the road, and the Eagles to close out the year at home.
I say they win 2.
I think they win 1 game, and I don't know who that's going to be against.
It's either going to now. Yeah, that's a shame the Eagles are going to get to beat them twice. But I think they'll win 2. I mean, outside chance to beat the Eagles, probably not. They'll beat either the Giants, Titans, Jags, 2 of those 3. I'm going to say that.
I really don't know who they'll beat, but they're going to win only 1 game.
I mean, they could.
I have no faith in them whatsoever to win anymore.
It's a shame.
So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Let's go back
to it sucks that happened to Alex Smith. Like, you don't want that to happen to anyone. That is terrible.
That's the wrong tab.
Yeah. So, anyway, the last game was the Atlanta Falcons going into New Orleans, and they got, the score, they only lost by 14, but I think that last touchdown was a garbage time touchdown.
Yeah, it was. I was paying close attention to that because I'm going against Matt Ryan.
So, the Saints dominated this one pretty much from start to finish.
Yeah.
Drew Brees did what Drew Brees does.
DB does what DB does.
He went against, I think Atlanta's the worst defense in the NFL.
We're going to say they're the worst. Even if they aren't, because they suck.
They've been obliterated with injuries.
Yeah.
I know they're definitely
I'm surprised they only scored 31. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, going off back-to-back weeks when they scored close, they scored 54, 52 against the Bengals 2 weeks ago.
And then 48.
Last week against the Eagles, they scored 48. And then, I mean, we're acting like 31's bad, but when the Saints are accustomed to putting up 40 plus. So, I mean, Drew Brees, he's right in the thick of the MVP conversation.
I mean, he's my MVP.
He is your MVP?
Yeah. Is he not yours?
I
feel like he's everyone's, but
I still think Pat Mahomes could do it. If it was right now, I'd probably give it to Drew Brees, but
it just depends how the season plays out.
Yeah,
Brees could fall. I don't see him falling off, but there's a chance. But I think right now, Brees is definitely.
Yeah, but anyway, he destroyed the Falcons as everyone expected to. Very efficient, He completed 15 of 22, which is, pretty good for him. 4 touchdowns, and he was throwing to a lot of, I don't remember who did he throw it to. He did not throw any touchdowns to Thomas, Kamara, or Ingram.
Oh yeah, he threw a bunch of no names.
Here's a guy who caught touchdowns for the
I haven't
Saints.
heard of any of these guys.
Dan Arnold.
Before this game, I wouldn't. If you gave me a list of these guys amongst other names, I couldn't tell you if they're football players. I never heard of these guys.
Yeah, I was in one league. I was going against Matt Ryan, Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, and Michael Thomas, and they kind of survived because they didn't really do that much.
Yeah.
But anyway, the guys who caught touchdowns for the Saints. You know what? We can't do this now. If we had a live audience, we could list a bunch of names and interchange some like random names that we make up and see if they were like actual football players. But Dan,
next time we have a live audience, we'll do
yeah,
that.
at our next live show we'll do that.
Yeah.
Dan Arnold, Tommy Lee Lewis,
Tommy
Austin
Lee.
Carr, and Keith Kirkwood.
Nice.
If those guys can catch touchdowns from Drew Brees, like that should scare you. The Saints should scare you even more after these randos can score touchdowns.
They should sign me.
I mean, I think you could like put up like decent stats on the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Tommy Lee Lewis can do it, you can do it.
If Tommy Lee.
He's probably the only name I would have like actually recognized.
Where's
the other names I probably wouldn't have known.
What do you know about Tommy Lee?
Like he's been on the Saints I think for a few years. Like I think
really?
I like knew who he was, but Dan Arnold, especially not Dan Arnold. Who the hell is Dan Arnold?
Knock off Sam Darnold.
But the Saints are 10-1, Falcons are 4-7. Where do you see the Saints finishing at the end of the year?
I was just gonna say, my biased opinion. I think that we could upset them in a few weeks, and we just be their other loss, and they go 14-2.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be a good game. It's the Steelers versus Saints, Week 16.
I mean the Saints would be favored, but like it wouldn't be like a complete shock, and people wouldn't be off the Saints bandwagon if the Steelers won. Steelers are a good team, so I think that is a possible loss. But then other than that, I think they're winning the rest. I mean, who else they play? Do you know?
Saints. I know they gotta play the Panthers twice.
Oh, they haven't played the Panthers yet. Maybe we'll lose one of those.
They play the Bucks again.
That's a win.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. They play Dallas next week.
That's a win.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at minimum,
I say they'll lose one, either to us or one against the Panthers. They'll lose.
At minimum, I see them being 13-3, but obviously they could easily.
We'll say 14-2.
They could easily win the rest of their games.
Yeah.
I don't know. So they look to be strong going into the playoffs, and I'm sure when we do our playoff pool come playoff time, a lot of people are going to be picking them.
It's just it's gonna be. It's probably only gonna be Saints, Rams, Chiefs. In that order of amount, like of the predicted winners.
No, first of all, if the Eagles make the playoffs, there will be Eagles winners.
I don't even think. I think all the Eagles fans have lost.
There will definitely be. If we get 60 people, I think 5 people will pick the Eagles.
Maybe.
I think so.
I literally think like every Eagles fan like acknowledges that like it's not their year and they don't have a chance to win.
I don't know. Yeah, but we'll certainly be getting a lot of Rams, Chiefs, and Saints. I don't think my bold prediction for the playoffs as of right now, Week 12, I don't think the Rams or the Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl.
I think it's going to be Saints.
I don't know if
Steelers.
that's that bold, but I don't think either. For some reason, I'm waiting for the Vikings to get hot. I have a feeling the whole year that the Vikings have something special in them.
I do too, but seeing the Saints now, it's really hard for me to have the Vikings beat the Saints, especially if they meet each other again in the playoffs. After last year,
the Saints have conquered their demons of last year.
Yeah, I really don't see that happening. You know, I love Kirk so much. I think that their defense has been underperforming.
I don't know. I just would not count out the Vikings yet. If they can get in,
no.
And
if
they can get
in,
hot, I think they could. I don't know. I think they could be scary. Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. And yeah, that's. I think that's gonna be our episode. I only planned on this being like 25 minutes, but it's like 45. Yeah,
good for us.
It's kind of late. I got to get up early tomorrow, so we're gonna wrap this thing up. Any closing remarks to our improv episode when we threw together?
Let's go Irish.
Yeah, let's go Irish.
I'll probably be on before the playoff, but yeah.
Yeah, the semifinals are the selection show is next Sunday,
official one?
December 3rd.
Oh, is it the day after
excuse me, it's December 2nd. It's the
day after the championships.
Day after the championships is the college football selection show. I don't know what time, but
okay.
So a week from today, actually. Yeah, a week from today.
Wow. And
the semifinals are December 29th. It's a Saturday. And the championship is always on a Monday, so it's January 7th. And, it's all the important days in college football. and you'll be seeing the Irish on at
will.
least the semifinals and hopefully the championship.
Hoisting the trophy.
Bama versus Notre Dame. Let's hope that happens.
I'd be scared. I'm like not scared of any other team except Bama.
I'm not scared of Bama.
Why are you not scared of Bama after what they did to LSU?
I'm not scared of Bama. I'm not.
No, this
They're
Bama
human
team.
beings.
This team is different.
They wake up every morning.
I mean, hey, the Citadel gave them a scare.
The Citadel tied them at halftime, man.
No, would they be more prepared for a game like this? Not more prepared, but they'd more on guard.
Yeah.
They care more.
Don't worry about it. Everyone's human. Everyone can be beat.
I just want to repeat of 6 years ago.
Except what?
I don't want to repeat.
I thought you said you do want to repeat. I'm like, what?
Why?
No,
Why?
I don't know.
want that?
I don't know. I don't. Last thing I want to say is my bold prediction. I think I definitely said this on the episode before, but Tua is going to be a New England Patriot when he enters the draft next year.
In
2020. The Patriots are going to draft Tua Tagovailoa to replace Tom Brady as their quarterback. So bookmark that at about 45 minutes into episode 19 of the Hog Line Podcast. I declared that Tua Tagovailoa is going to be a New England Patriot. So that's just your reference there. And yeah, that's going to conclude our episode. This is episode. I don't even think I said in the beginning what episode this was. We just went right in with the Irish.
Yeah.
Episode 19 you've listened to. I hope you enjoyed it. We kind of threw it together. And yeah, you can follow Jack on Instagram at I never remember what it is.
_Jack.Mannas_.
There you go. You can follow me on Instagram at Mitchell Mannas. Follow the show on Instagram at the Hog Line Podcast. We post updates. I try to post them as much as I can.
I'll do more. I'll be more active on that account.
Yeah, come on, social media manager.
That's not me. That's not my title.
Well, now it is.
Okay.
SMM. Yes, the
SMM.
SMM. That's you. The sim.
Sure.
Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Hog Line Podcast, and rate, review us on iTunes, and listen to us on Apple Podcasts and all that jazz. I think I covered it all.
I think you did.
I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving, and
I hope that too.
Yeah, we're thankful for all of our listeners, even if there are probably like 9 of you out there. So
yeah,
thank you for everything that you guys have done. Listen to the show. I enjoy doing this, and yeah, let's keep this thing rolling. Have a good one.
Bye.